Yeah, so we are good to go now, 6 o'clock. Yeah, so good evening, all of you. I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible. Yeah. Okay, to start with, I welcome all of you to today's session on competency-based education in mathematics. And this is my brief introduction, and my name is Nirupama Mahapatra Das. I work as a PGT mathematics in New Greenfield School, Saket, New Delhi. And I'm Google certified trainer and Cbse competency-based education test item writing trainer. And also All India Educators Forum. There I'm master trainer and global ambassador. And today's session is empowered by All India Educators Forum. Yeah. So competency-based education, specifically, we have been talking for quite some time. In 2021, we had a circular like Cbse asked us to, like, this year onwards, the question paper will be including competency-based education. And the Cbse has given training to, class 9, 6 to 10. The teachers training Cbse have conducted. I think over 1,000 teachers, they have been trained also. Okay, and I have taken training sessions for 54 hours in last session. And today, so let us see how I can do justice for this session. Yeah, so when we talk about competency-based education, the first thing comes to our mind, that is competency, because many of us know we have been teaching since so many years. We are very thorough with our curriculum, our syllabus, and the classroom teaching, methodology, everything. But then whenever it comes to competency-based education, preparing the question paper based on competency-based education, then of course we need to think a bit. Yeah. Can somebody say if I'm audible properly?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So then, what is exactly competency-based education? Yeah, and because nowadays we are talking, a lot about this, and we know National Education Policy 2020. It calls for a shift from an assessment system that is summative and primary test rote memorization skills to one that is more regular and formative, and it should be more competency based. So even though NEP 2020 is emphasizing on that. So specifically what we understood till now, so competency based education means it should be like it should contribute towards students development in more constructive way, and the test, it can test like the higher order skills, analysis, critical thinking, and conceptual clarity. And whenever it comes to mathematics, and we know concept without concept, it's very difficult to even know students to fall off in the subject. Okay, so what is exactly competency-based education? What is its purpose? What are its features? And is it beneficial to our students and specifically the education system? And as teachers, do we have to play any role for it? Yeah, do we need to bring any change in our classroom teaching and the preparation of curriculum or preparation of assessment or test? So we will be discussing all these things. So in today's session, so we will be discussing all these things. So whenever we say competency-based education, so we can summarize like this. Okay, competency, so knowledge, attitude, and skill. Okay, as for Bloom's taxonomy, knowledge, attitude, skill, whenever we talk about the purpose of education, it is all-round development of the learner. All-round development means we can divide that into 3 domains. One is cognitive domain, then affective domain, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain means, of course, knowledge aspect. Affective domain means feeling aspect, or you can say attitude. And psychomotor domain means that is skill based. It means whatever they are studying, whatever they are learning, whether they're studying or learning, okay, whether they are able to apply to their real life situations. So this is about, you can say, 3R: reading, writing, arithmetic. Yeah, you can say head, heart, and hand, or knowledge, attitude, skill. Simplifying, we can do like this. So competency based means it is specifically, it should emphasize on overall development of the students, learners. Okay, and these 3 domains, while working with these 3 domains, and of course, these should be culminating in observable and measurable learning outcomes. Again, no learning outcomes, Cbse is talking about a lot. NCERT has, given learning outcomes in every stage. Yeah, elementary stage, if you want, I can share the link for that. Secondary stage, and even for class 11, 12, recently they have, found that learning outcomes and assessment objectives. So that is yet to come in the site. And yeah, and after all, it has to be in this state. It should transfer of knowledge in real life situations. Because till now we believe students are studying, they are scoring higher marks, but whenever it comes to practical applicability, so all of us know what is happening. Okay, so then how we can go for competency based education when our subject is concerned, what to do? Yeah, so then just okay, so these are some of the key features of competency based education, like equity for all students. Yeah, all students means students of all abilities and from every background, all backgrounds. Differentiated support based on students' individual learning needs. Because as we know, if in the class of 35, 40 students, every student cannot cope up with the same speed. And our test system, education system, even our teaching style also, it means it is fitted into one. We are just not one method for everyone. But competency-based education talks about how to adopt a differentiated learning system. It means catering into the needs of different students of different abilities. Then progress based on evidence of mastery rather than time in the classroom. Because, and again, we know that we have, like, this time we have to conduct UT, then again, like half yearly, annual, all these things will go on. Now, how to see some students, again, the pace of the students are not same. So progress based on evidence of mastery rather than time in the classroom. So it means students can learn in their own pace. Okay, and lastly, the use of formative assessment, particularly peer and self-assessment, where students are encouraged to reflect on their own work and identify areas for improvement. Okay, so, and whenever we see key features of competency-based education, and do we feel we have huge responsibility? Yeah, as teachers, as educators, we have huge responsibility, because it's not very easy to follow whatever is I'm sharing in the slide. Okay, because as I said, in the class of 35, 40 students, we have limited time, we have work pressure. Then how to take care of needs of each and every student, and students are of different abilities and the needs are also different. And when we say progress based on evidence of mastery, suppose for example a student doesn't know addition, okay, but we go on teaching that child multiplication, and then we feel the child is not able to do multiplication. But we need to understand, without we means the system I'm including. So we need to understand, like, no, without addition, how can the student understand addition? Multiplication is repeated addition. Okay, so that sort of mastery is required, and progress based on evidence. So here, competency-based education talks about that. And again, coming to everything as educators, our purpose is benefit of the students, benefit of our learners. So, does CBE, competency-based education, does, it fulfill the need of the students? So, competency-based education integrates higher order thinking skills, interdisciplinary approaches, and problem solving these are essential to the modern world and workplace. So it means if the child is studying geography, how mathematics can play a role in geography. Okay, yeah, the child is studying statistics, so how he or she can apply mathematics to various fields. Okay, so interdisciplinary approach and problem solving approach. So these are the wherever student may work. Even for us also. So whatever we do, the problem solving, critical thinking, and analysis, all these abilities are required. So competency-based education also talks about that. So integration of higher order thinking skill, interdisciplinary, and whether you say art integration, whether you say interdisciplinary approach, so everything is covered in competency-based education. So that's why like Cbse is emphasizing on, NEP 2020 is also emphasizing on competency-based education. Then, so now, till now we have discussed a lot like what are the merits, what are the features of CBE. Now, how it is different from traditional education system. Yeah, in traditional system, like one thing fits to everyone, like method of teaching, question paper, everything for, it's, you can say, we do not consider students of different abilities, right? And also like whether student is ready or not, the exam time is same. So we have to conduct the exams or test whether the student is ready or not. And also, so that is basically, this is the current system. And also the question paper pattern also, like if somebody is very good in rote learning and may not be very intelligent, or the student may be very intelligent but not very systematic. So it's very difficult to, identify that. So here, Cbse, so 6 underlying principles are guiding the implementation of competency-based education by Cbse. So everything I've taken from Cbse site, and it is available in Cbse site. In fact, you can go through this. Yeah, equity, accessibility, reliability, validity, higher order thinking skills, assessment, and real world relevance and linkages. So how, equity you understood, accessibility also, reliability, validity. So it is basically whenever we prepare any assessment, suppose for example, every student in the class is scoring 90%, 100%. So is our question paper is valid? Yeah, if everyone is failing, so again, whatever assessment we are conducting, is it valid? Okay, and of course, higher order thinking skills assessment, and whatever they are learning, that creativity and the application to day-to-day life. So the students should link it to day-to-day life. For example, the student is studying trigonometry. Very usual question the students ask, what is its relevance in our day life? Trigonometry, we don't use anywhere. Okay, so why are we studying? So maybe we can talk to them like, no, you can use in survey, you can use in architecture and on navigation, but everybody doesn't go for navigation. Everybody is not using that in survey work. So for a very common person, how to even relate that? If we can say, okay, trigonometry is way of life. For example, a breathing cycle, how it is linked to trigonometric curve. Okay, so then maybe student can take interest also. And if somebody is good in music, again, how musical notes, it also like, trigonometric curve, knowledge of trigonometric curves, sine, cosine specifically, how it helps. So they really can link to that. And statistics, every topic you can say. I will take some, examples also. So how it is really, it can be linked to our day-to-day lives. Okay, so this is from senior school curriculum Cbse. I'm just quoting it. So in competency-based learning, it focuses on the students' demonstration of desired learning outcomes as central to the learning process. So student desired learning outcomes. So learning outcomes, again, it should be like age and age appropriate and grade appropriate. Okay, and learning outcomes are statements of abilities that are expected students will gain as a result of learning the activity. So if we are teaching number system, the students should be able to, at the end of learning that number system, at the end of learning that geometry. So whatever we are teaching, the students should, whatever the learning outcomes, the students should be able to do, and each and every student should be able to do. So learning outcomes are thus statements of what a learner. Can you mute, please? Can you? Yeah, so what the learner is expected to know. So like elementary stage, secondary stage, and senior secondary stage, for every topic, and for every domain. So NCERT has, given that learning outcomes. Okay, like for example, for a class 2 side, what he or she should be expected to learn. Okay, and if the child is in class 5, fifth standard student, not able to do addition, multiplication, so there is a concern. Okay, so therefore the focus is on measuring learning through attainment of prescribed learning outcomes rather than on measuring time. So in the beginning I was telling CBE is emphasizing on the students should learn in his or her own pace rather than time bound. So when he or she is ready to learn the next concept. So this is where I've quoted from senior school curriculum Cbse, and how this competency based education looks like. Okay, because this is, CBE is what we know, features and benefits we know, and how can we apply to the classroom. And as educators, as I said, we have huge responsibility. So now these three things we can work. Okay, that is our limitation. Yeah, one is curriculum design, that is in our hand. Okay, teaching and learning, because whenever we want to assess something, whatever is being assessed, it has to be assessed. So we have to start from the classroom. Okay, so teaching and learning should, it should be reflected in our teaching and learning. So every topic or every domain of the subject students are learning, so they should know the practical applicability. It may be through various activities, it may be like different mind map, and we can use technology and whatever is required, and even mathematical modeling. So teaching learning, it has to be reflected. Classroom teaching should be reflected whatever is expected from us. And then finally, how to know student has actually learned. Learning takes place. So assessment is one tool that is also in our hand. So these three things as educators we need to take care of. So again from Cbse curriculum class 11-12, which is yet to come in the site. So this I'm quoting from here. The board is progressively allowing more space to learning outcome based assessment in place of textbook driven assessment. Question papers of board examination will have more questions based on real life situations, requiring students to apply, analyze, evaluate, synthesize information as per the stipulated outcomes. So this is what our question paper should contain, and the core competencies to be assessed in all questions however, will be from the prescribed syllabus and textbooks recommended therein. So this will eliminate predictability and rote learning to a large extent. So all efforts are basically to emphasize on critical thinking, analysis, everything, and to stop rote learning. Okay, so here this is the recent, uh, Cbse curriculum for class 11, 12, and learning assessment objectives and learning outcomes. Yeah. So whenever so as I said, the curriculum design, maybe in the beginning, then classroom teaching throughout, and in the end, we are coming to assessment. So whenever we talk about assessment, we have some objectives. Yeah. So now assessment objective, we can broadly divide into two types. Okay, though we will be using Bloom's taxonomy, all the stages that the question paper will be covering these things. So in mathematics, like assessment objective 1 and assessment objective 2. So assessment objective 1 is whenever we prepare the question paper, so assessment objective 1 emphasizes on it demonstrates knowledge and understanding of mathematical ideas, techniques, and procedures. Okay, so assessment objective 1 deals with this, and assessment objective 2. Here, the question paper of the type where applying knowledge and understanding of mathematical ideas, techniques, and procedures to classroom and real world situation. Okay, so it means whenever the question, the category of question paper, when we say AO1, AO2, AO1 here, students should be able to recall and apply mathematical knowledge, terminology, definitions, and to carry out routine procedures. Okay, we have some percentage of questions on that also. Or straightforward questions requiring single or multi-step solutions in mathematical or everyday situations. Okay, so at every class level, at appropriate class levels, and so what sort of question it should include? Yeah, so whenever we prepare AO1 questions, maybe we can say simple questions. So working accurately with information presented in word, tables, graphs, diagrams. Okay, where you can see in Bloom's taxonomy, the level 1, remembering, okay, and recalling some definitions like this, and straightforward questions, working accurately with information presented in words, tables, graphs, diagrams, this sort of question, and also using and interpreting mathematical notations correctly. So like, for example, like mathematical notation, gradually when the students, from lower class to higher class, so they, are familiar with, they become familiar with lots of notations. Suppose, for example, one is writing sets. So in the set, curly brackets should be used. Okay, but if the student is using other brackets, so obviously that is not mathematically correct. Okay, so this comes under AO1. So using calculator. So till now we have not been, calculator we are not allowing in the exams. So maybe in the future it may happen. Understanding and using systems of measurement in everyday use. Okay, estimating, approximating, working to appropriate levels of accuracy, converting between equivalent numerical forms. And these are the things, these are the concepts we use day to day, use. Similarly, using geometrical instruments to measure and draw appropriate levels of accuracy. So these I'm talking about assessment objective 1. Yeah, and recognizing and using, spatial relationship in 2 or 3 dimensions. So identifying like 2D figures, 3D figures in, lower classes. And so basically, the questions of this category can be taken as assessment objective 1. And whenever we come to assessment objective 2, it is a bit higher standard. It tests understanding. And here the student should apply knowledge and understanding. So it is little bit higher side of Bloom's taxonomy. So students should be able to reason, interpret, communicate mathematically while solving problems. They should be able to analyze a problem, select suitable strategy, and apply appropriate techniques at appropriate class. So it means, so appropriate techniques means, like, again, it is grade and age appropriate. Okay, then what sort of questions we should include, and which can be part of assessment objective 2. So presenting arguments and chains of reasoning and logical in a structured way. Suppose we are giving a question, then show the steps. It may not be just MCQ or may not be just one word answer. Okay, so showing the steps. Yeah, we are giving some word problems. For students, they have to think, they have to analyze the problem. Okay, and also like proving something, so they can assess the validity of the argument, interpreting and communicating information accurately, and they also like solving unstructured problems by putting them into structured form. So these are the various types we can consider, and recognizing the pattern in the variety of such situation, and concluding, arriving at a conclusion, and making logical deductions, derivations, making inferences, drawing conclusions from any given mathematical information, including statistical data. Suppose we are giving a case study based question or source based question. The student has to analyze that, right? And again, we are giving a graph. Then by analyzing the graph, answering certain types of questions, and interpreting results in the context of the given problem. So again, we come back to like source-based and case-based, which we have been, I think, last 2 years. So we have been, case-based questions students are familiar with, and we are also preparing such questions. So basically, but whenever we make the question paper, these proportions of these assessment objectives are presented as ranges class 6 to 8 and certain percentage. I think recently also, I think 1st July, we have got a circular from DOE and what percentage of competency based questions the question paper should include, and for 11, 12 standard, for 9th and 10th standard. So basically we are getting ready to, prepare our assessment as for competency based education. And before we prepare assessments, we have to make our children ready, because this year is specifically very, very important, because we know since last 2 years, many students, some students may be sincere, but some students were really struggling to attend the classes because of online things, and not, we know the situation. So emotional turmoil, whatever, all of us are, quite aware of this. So this year is specifically very, very challenging for teachers, because to bridge that gap of learning loss. So we really have to work, I think, a more specific way or like that. So so whenever we say the assessment objective 1, so it may be high end of assessment objective 1 and low end of assessment objective 2. So gradually we can increasing the proportions, and they just let me go to this. Okay, so again, competency-based education questions, we call it items. Item means the question paper and marking scheme. Okay, so what the Cbse competency-based item writing training we received, and even I have delivered. So what we have been told, whenever we prepare any question paper, first we have to make marking scheme. It means simultaneously question paper and marking scheme. Okay, so rather than giving the question paper, then after some time or after the exam is over, then before checking we make marking scheme. No, question paper and marking scheme together they are called items. Test item means question paper and marking scheme. So different styles of objective types questions, like true, false, fill in the gaps. So all of us are familiar with match the item, and MCQs. Okay, so we have seen last year term 1 we had given MCQs, and MCQ also it has different categories. Okay, so MCQ like with one correct option, yeah, multiple correct options, and but for CBSE we are following one correct option. Then assertion reasoning based questions, so it is a bit higher side of MCQ. Yes, so then again next, this source based and this one case study based. So case study based earlier we have taken like multiple choice, but this year we have given them maybe 2 marker question we have given. Okay, and short answer type questions, so maybe 1 or 2 markers. So when then the advantage of short answer type of questions, short written responses sometimes using stimuli means we are giving some case study based you can include here single word answer or up to certain short paragraph, so maybe 1 or 2 marker. So it can assess all skills but often focused on recall or application of knowledge and analysis. So that we have to see. And also, so many times now we think competency-based questions means only it is short answer. No, it can be extended response questions also. Okay, and as we know, long questions, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Okay, pros and cons, and short and MCQs we also know. Okay, so basically, as you know, extended response questions, no, they usually assess depth rather than breadth, but it can do both also. Okay, so usually focus on higher order skills and such as analysis, evaluation, or responses, where the students have to write explanation or prove something, or they have to show the steps of solution. Yes, here I just want to take so some more things. Just so basically these are the types of questions, but I will take some topics. Just okay. Can you please mute? Just a minute. Okay, so I just want to show yeah. So I'm taking a topic here. So when we talk about competence-based education, and all of you, most of you are experienced teachers. So basically, yeah. So I've taken one topic here. This is just so this is from class 11th, and one topic sequences and series. Just for the sake of giving example, I've taken this one. Okay, so whenever we prepare question, yeah, we are, teaching in the class also. So how to identify which sort of questions like remembering and understanding or applying or analyzing. So just I've taken all the questions from NCERT textbook. So whenever we say recall based, suppose for example, from that particular topic, those who are teaching 11, 12 standard, they can relate, but I think 9, 10 teachers can also relate, because some portion of sequence and series the children study in 10 standard also. Okay, so now recall case, what is a Fibonacci sequence? Or find the sum of odd integers from 1 to 2001. Or some questions like fill in the blank, like let A1, A2, A3, something be the sequence. Then the sum is expressed like A1 plus A2 plus A3. This is called what? So some types, this type of question may come under recall. And applying, this is coming under the category remembering and understanding, Bloom's taxonomy level 1. And applying, so from this topic, application based question may be compare, contrast, classify. So like for example, state 2 differences between an arithmetic and geometric progression. Yeah, arithmetic geometric sequence. So if the child understand what is arithmetic sequence, what is geometric sequence, then only he or she can compare the two sequences. Or you can say ratio of arithmetic mean and geometric mean of two positive numbers, given m is to n, so we can show the sum of all the number. Yeah, so basically, so type of question. Similarly, if we are given any word problem, so this type of questions can be taken as how the student can use the concept into real life situation. Here I just will read out one question. A farmer buys a used tractor for 12,000 rupees. He pays 6,000 cash and agrees to pay the balance in annual installments of 500 rupees plus 12% interest on the unpaid amount. How much will the tractor cost him? So this is a question like, no, it can be linked to real life situation also. Yeah, even here 150 workers were engaged to finish the job in a certain number of days. 4 workers dropped out. On second day, 4 more workers dropped out in the third day, and so on. And it took 8 more days to finish the work. Find the number of days in which the work was completed. So such questions, no, even if students having mathematical background, or if they really have analysis power, even later on in their real life situation, such concepts can be used. So such questions come under analyzing, evaluating, and creating, that category. So yes, so now again here recall and understanding. So one some type of describe. So find the sum of n terms of the sequence 8, 88, 888, like this. And similar questions: solve, explain, illustrate. It comes under application based. Find the sum of all numbers between 200 and 400 which are divisible by 7. So here the student can apply the knowledge and the concepts of sequence and whatever studied, and the student can solve the question. Or like, yeah, similarly, creating something. Arithmetic mean and geometric mean is given. Okay, if arithmetic mean and geometric mean of roots of quadratic equation are 8 and 5 respectively, then obtain the quadratic equation. So if the child knows arithmetic mean and geometric mean between two numbers, how he or she can form the quadratic equation. So it comes under analyzing, evaluating, creating. So creating something from the knowledge what he or she can create new. Okay, so yeah, similarly, exemplify or infer. So again, it comes from understanding concept. Insert 5 numbers between 5 and 26 such that the resulting sequence is an arithmetic progression. Okay, and again, using that mathematical modeling also. Suppose sum of the first n terms of the sequence given. Nth term is given and sum of the first terms one has to find. And again here, this is a real life situation question. Predicting something hypothesize. 500 rupees deposited in a bank which pays annual interest rate of 6% compounded annually for 10 years. Okay, so then the student has to so then which of the two investment options would result higher returns? So one is like this: 500 deposited in the bank with annual interest rate 6% compounded annually for 10 years. Or second option is 300 rupees invested in SIP, which pays annual interest rate of 10% compounded annually for 5 years. So the student has to decide which one is better investment. So again, in later life also, the child can have that deciding things whenever he or she has to invest somewhere. Okay, and to understand the working of this interest rate, okay, are taking loans. So such concepts like competency based education will help. It's not only for studying the concept student has to study. Okay, so how the child can link this? So maybe in the introduction part, while even starting the topic in sequence and series, if we really can give them that idea. Okay, suppose somebody's like grandmother is retiring and the investment where what is the better option? Yeah, the person is getting 2 jobs. In one job maybe like increment, yearly increment for this much, and other job like this much salary, then increment like this. So the student can, the person can decide which one, which job offer the person has to accept. So these are very, very practical questions, practical real life situation problems students can handle. Okay, so this is basically while teaching a topic, any particular topic, we can categorize the questions like this. So it will be easier for us to what type of questions we can give in the assessment. Then here again going back to one more topic like continuity differentiability. So this is also like remembering and recall type of question. And here you can see the chapter name, content, domain is understands the relationship between continuity and differentiability of a function. Okay, that is the learning outcome. Okay, then competency, what competency it is testing, demonstrates understanding that a function differentiable at a point is also continuous at that point, but converse is not true. So all the differentiable functions are continuous, but all continuous functions are not differentiable. The child has to understand this. So this is the competency in this topic, in this concept. So cognitive level is remembering a recall type, and thinking process is the child should recall the relationship between continuous function and differentiable function. He or she should understand some continuous functions may not be differentiable, but all the differentiable functions are continuous. Okay, so now the difficulty level is medium. It's not very easy or very difficult also. And 1 marker question, and maybe for 1 marker for this particular question, maybe maximum 1 minute is required. And here you see item STEM. STEM means the question, and item means basically, as I said, it is question and answer marking scheme. So here you see this is the visual. In fact, we are given like in set form, and here it can be taken a bit interdisciplinary also. Yeah, you can say conceptual. So here you can see through Venn diagram, the question is given like this. So again, here I have taken it from Cbse. It is not, I have not found it. It is from Cbse learning outcomes and assessment objective from that material, which is yet to come in the site. Okay, so we are given these figures. Which one is, so which one correct option the student has to choose? If okay, FC set of all continuous functions and FD set of all differentiable functions, then which among the following correctly represents relationship between two sets? Okay, so the student might have studied sets in class 11th, but here linking the sets with continuity and differentiability, that Venn diagram concept can be used here. So here the student, how the student can think. And here while making any MCQ questions, we have to see these are the, one is answer key, and it has 4 options. Out of 4 options, 1 is called answer key. That is correct answer. And other 3 are distractors. Okay. And the good MCQ question is 3 distractors and 1 answer key. Okay, these 4 options should be very, very plausible. Okay, so while preparing MCQ question, we need to take care of that. Okay, so if somebody is answering like A is the correct answer, this figure is correct answer, because here differentiable function, the functions which are differentiable, the function should be continuous. So it is a subset of this. Okay. So if the student gives A option correctly, so student correctly understands that every differentiable functions is continuous, but not the vice versa. But if the student is answering second one, it means students who select second option, option B. So it means some differentiable functions may not be continuous. So here understanding is not correct. And for this one also, here you see every continuous function is differentiable. which is also not correct. And last option, it means a student who selects the fourth option, D, continuous and differentiable functions are mutually exclusive. They are not, they are mutually exclusive, disjoint from each other. So basically, if the student understands this concept, so obviously the MCQ question he or she can take correctly. So even if it is MCQ, so it is a bit higher order thinking. It tests the competency of this understanding. Understanding of the function, all the differentiable functions are continuous, but the converse is not true. Okay, one more example here, like, you can take it as a source-based question also. So here from American Heart Association source, this graph is taken, and here probability of cardiovascular disease. Okay, so here you can see, and if I have just taken 2 questions, you can add more questions. Like, what is the probability that a randomly selected man between the age 25 and 34 has cardiovascular disease? So the student can observe this graph and answer. Okay, and what is the probability that randomly selected woman 75 or older doesn't have cardiovascular disease? So the student can observe the graph, and he or she can answer such questions. So you can have some more questions here, because if it is 4 marker, if you decide one question 1 mark, then it may be like this. Okay, so these are some of the examples, and one more example I just recently, for class 9th and 10th, the competence-based questions, specifically how this is prepared by the teachers, and it is available in Cbse academic site also. So that question bank. So in that section you can get it. Okay, so like here assessment objective 1 and assessment objective 2. So this question carries 4 marks. Okay, and here okay, so here you see content reference 9C1, that is given by that learning ladder is provided by Cbse British Council. And so here use standard notations and plot points in the plane. And the second one, again here this is from geometry, use the fact that in a parallelogram the diagonals bisect each other and conversely. Okay, so this is available in Cbse academic site. Okay, that British Council Alpha Plus collaboration. So you can get a question bank, and it is lots of questions, a huge number of questions are there. So you can refer to that also. Okay, then item purpose. But whenever we prepare any assessment or we want to test on some domain, so what is the purpose? The purpose of the item is the question assesses the ability of plotting the points on rectangular coordinate plane, the use of basic characteristic of a rhombus, and use of mensuration concepts such as area of a right angle triangle equal to half the product of 2 perpendicular sides in coordinate geometry. So this is the purpose of the item. Okay, it is from 9th standard. And here source and diagram. So this is called source. And then here you see question. The type of question is given points A, B, C, D. Plot the points A, B, C, D on the graph. So for plotting the point, it is 1 mark. And second part of the question is name the figure A, B, C, D. Okay. And name the figure A, B, C, D obtained by joining the points and find the areas of the figure ABCD. So whenever you see the figure ABCD, so child should identify, okay, it is a rhombus. Okay, and here this part, it is 3 marks. Now you see the marking scheme, because as I said, item means question and marking scheme both. So mark scheme is M1 means method marks, A means answer mark. Okay, so point marking, plot the points, like the students can plot the points. 1 mark for plotting the points on the graph. Okay, Then second part, name the figure ABCD obtained by joining the points. Find area of the figure ABCD. And here you see the guidance is M1 method mark. Join the points A, B, C, D. So joining the points and identifying the figure, that is for 1 mark. And the second part is figure obtained, so is rhombus. So it means joining the points and identifying 1 mark. Then using the property means the diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other at right angle. So here identifying the symmetry of the 4 right angles triangles within the rhombus and area. So here basically again here 1 mark. Okay, then calculation is 1 mark. Okay, so yeah, so basically how the marking scheme and the question one can see. So as I said, Cbse academics and the site, you can get plenty of questions from starting from class 6 to 10. Okay, so that may be helpful for how to prepare competence based questions, and you can see all the topics are covered. So one more, like suppose, okay, suppose you're teaching mensuration surface area volume. Okay, so then like from this also, like remembering, understanding. So based on Bloom's taxonomy, how the question paper can be made, or how you can make the assessment, or you can implement in your teaching. So remembering, suppose for example from this topic, write the formula for the volume of a cone, or what is the formula for total surface area of a cylinder. So that comes under remembering. Okay, Bloom's taxonomy level 1. Second level, understanding. Yeah, so write the difference between surface area and volume of a solid object, maybe cone, cylinder. So it is Bloom's taxonomy level 2, understanding. Third level is applying. Determine the volume of a conical vessel with radius 7 centimeter and slant height 25 centimeter. The student has to apply the formula and then finding the volume. Okay, so level 3, applied. Level 4 of Bloom's taxonomy is analyzing, means again here how to analyze the concept here, analysis of the question and applying the concept. Ice cream completely filled in a cylinder of diameter 35 centimeter and height 32 centimeter is to be served by completely filling identical disposable cones of diameter 4 centimeter and height 7 centimeter. Find the maximum number of persons that can be served this way. So again here for this question, student has to analyze whatever data is given before solving the question. So it comes under level 4 of Bloom's taxonomy. And fifth one, fifth level is evaluating, given that cylinder A with volume 1500 pi cubic centimeter, height 15 centimeter. Cylinder B with surface area 500 pi square centimeter. It has radius 10 centimeter. Check whether the cylinders A and B are the same size, whether they are of same size. So here the child has to evaluate. Okay, so it comes under Bloom's taxonomy level 5. And creating means creating something like in sequence series topic I have shared, like you are given arithmetic mean between two numbers, geometric mean between two numbers, then forming the quadratic equation. So similarly here also deduce mathematically the relation between surface area and volume of a cylinder or cone. Okay, so the student has to derive mathematically the relation between them. So this comes under Bloom's taxonomy level 6, creating something new. So basically, so these are the types of questions, and in fact this is non-ending. 1 hour is very less time to explain competence based education, because while training, if any of you have attended the training program, it was 18 hours. Okay, the whole thing, like 6 days and every day 3 hours. So to concise 18 hours to 1 hour is very difficult, but I'm sure the basic things, no, you understood. And these assessments are already available in Cbse site. So you can go through that also, what is competency based education, and lots of questions, question bank specifically from class 6 to 10. It is available in the site. Okay, so any question if you want to ask, please unmute yourself and ask. Okay, so if you want, I can share some links also, like okay, so like now applying competency based education means like just okay, so yeah, I can share in the group also, in WhatsApp group. Okay, along with feedback form, I will be sharing other links also. Okay, yeah. So any question if you have? So please feel free to ask.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I'm Sunita. Is the question paper pattern for board exam for class 12 and 10, is it prepared, ma'am, by Cbse?
Yes. Yeah, just
That
1 minute.
the type of questions, pattern of questions, how many questions will be there for each marks, like that?
Okay. So now, like now, Cbse is planning to provide us the sample paper. By July end. Okay. So if not July end, maybe August first week we can get it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it will be useful at the earliest if we get it.
yeah. So yes. In fact, by July end they are planning to submit. 1 week is left. Maybe we can wait and maybe 1 more week as. But they are saying by July end they will be providing us. It is, under preparation. So by end of July they are planning to release the sample paper for current year. Okay, so this is one of the circulars you can see here, like competence based for 3rd to 9th standard percentage. They want like 40%, 20%, 40%. Okay, competency-based questions in the form of MCQs, case-based, source-based, integrated questions, or any other similar types, it should be 40%. Objective type questions, 1 or 2 marker, 20%. Short answer, long answer, 40%. And for 11th and 12th standard, it will be 30, 20, and 50. Okay, so this is the recent circular. Yeah, and
Yes.
so basically the need of the hour is schools must focus on competency-based learning, which will equip the students to face real-life challenges in an information and technology-driven world and enhance their inherent potential. Okay, so again, NEP 2020 is emphasizing that, and as I said, we have huge challenge to face. Okay, so the circular, you might have gone through this. Yeah. Okay, so July end, we have to wait till that. Okay, so as per the plan.
Yes, ma'am. The circular is.
Yes. So in fact, I had a word with someone there. So they said it's under preparation and we are planning like this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So anything else?
हेलो गुड इवनिंग मैम।
Good evening, sir.
मैम अकॉर्डिंग टू एनईपी ये जो मतलब ये कॉम्पिटेंसी वाला जो मतलब ये है सर्कुलर ये 2022-23 मतलब इस ईयर से चल जाएगा, मतलब जुलाई से स्टार्ट होगा ये, अब जो चल रहा है 22-23 एकेडमिक ईयर में।
Yeah.
तो
Sir,
जो
can you?
जो
हाँ.
लास्ट में अकॉर्डिंग जैसे लास्ट में पीछे मतलब सीबीएसई का सिलेबस था, उसके अकॉर्डिंग पेपर सेट होते थे, जो क्वेश्चन सेट होते थे वो अब एमईटी 2022 जो है मतलब 2022 के अकॉर्डिंग जो आपने बताया इसके अकॉर्डिंग मतलब एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन सेट होंगे, मतलब ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन, कोर क्वेश्चन, वेरी कोर और दी लॉन्ग मेथड क्वेश्चन जो है मतलब लॉन्ग
Yes,
टाइप
sir.
क्वेश्चन।
Now also, yeah, 33% extra. I think now what we are doing in our schools, no, like in the absence of any, sample question paper. So what we are doing 2021, like not this year, because this year it was term 1, term 2. Okay. So previous year जब exam नहीं हुआ था, है ना, 2021 हिसाब से. So we are preparing question paper like this. It may be like for half yearly because we are in a hurry to, conduct half yearly exam. Okay, but CBSE has planned to release the sample paper as per their circular this year by July end.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So we don't have any choice. We have to wait. Okay, I just send the feedback form. Yes. Okay, so I'm learning outcome for elementary stage. So just if you need, you can take it. So thanks everyone for joining. So I just posted here in the chat box feedback form and the elementary stage learning outcomes, secondary stage learning outcomes also. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, please. Yeah, Amandeep, ma'am, you raise your hand. You want to ask something? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, please ask. Okay, so let me stop recording and thank you.